Hey, it's Haley Steinfeld. When everything requires your attention, it can be tough to figure out what to prioritize. But I'm here to talk to you about something that you should always put first, your breast health. In fact, if you're 40 and over, you should be getting screened once a year. And if you're under 40, it's never too soon to visit yourattentionplease.com to learn about your breast cancer risk. So go on, pay the girls some attention and take the time to find out your breast cancer risk at yourattentionplease.com. Trust me, your future self will thank you.
Have I Got News for You is back for another season. Roy Wood Jr., Amber Ruffin, and Michael Ian Black are finding the funny in the week's biggest stories. Have I Got News for You, Saturday at 9 on CNN, and stream next day on Max.
Build a routine with Ollie that supports your wellness needs, like getting your daily vitamins and minerals with Ollie's multi-gummies, or keeping your mood upbeat with all the vitamin D in Hello Happy. Give your gut health some support with probiotics, and wake up feeling refreshed after taking Ollie Sleep. Do wellness on your terms. Find Ollie at a Walmart or Target near you or at ollie.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Welcome to a brand new episode of But Am I Wrong? Starring two people who have not once ever been wrong. Ever. Never ever. And on today's episode, who knows? Maybe that'll change. Maybe we'll be wrong. Actually, last week or a week before last, we got a 50-50. It was actually less. 60-30?
I don't remember.
That's not 100, Meghan. 60-30 is not 100%.
It could have been undecided.
I don't know. Whatever. But we had an unpopular thoughts last week, so who knows? It could be, maybe we're going to be totally wrong this week. I don't think so, because we have perfect track records. And when we're not sure, we never stand by something 100% unless we're 100% sure. We gave so many caveats. We gave so much like nuance and all of that. And like, that's because we love our 100% record. I'm not about to risk that. I'm not about to put my life on the line, hypothetically. Because for me, it is always that serious. So we have 3 different segments in the show. We'll explain each one of them before we get into it so we don't overwhelm you with information. But what you need to know is that, yes, we love when you just listen, but we love when you participate. And you can participate by nominating things for us to talk about in the episodes. But most importantly, you can participate by voting on who you think was wrong in each of our segments. We put stories over on Instagram and we do them in a highlight as well. And they're polls. So you can vote who you think was wrong. And then we love when you respond with why you voted the way you did, your thoughts and feelings. Sometimes people even reply with like their live reaction, like being like, literally just listening to this right now, the votes aren't even up. But like, I have to tell you what I think about this, or this reminds me so much of this. And we love hearing from you. And then we read all of those, the results, as well as your messages on our Tuesday episode called See You Next Tuesday. And sometimes we have updates from people who have like written in or being like, oh my God, this is me. This is how I feel now or whatever. So I wouldn't skip it's a good time. And sometimes people like catch nuances that we didn't, or they vote in totally different ways. And sometimes people are really funny and hilarious and lovely. Sure. That's what we've got for you. Our first segment is What Am I Wrong? Where we pitch to the other person and to all of you a circumstance or situation we found ourselves in that we want to know if we're in the wrong about, or it can be a hot take or a rant or a lukewarm take.
Okay, you're up first for our first segment called But Am I Wrong? And you just explain what it is. So go, Megan, go.
My hot take. People are talking about eggs. Eggs, $12 a dozen, $20 a dozen, $30 a dozen. We're hearing left, right, and center how expensive eggs are. How are we going to afford eggs? How are people going to be able to continue to be buying eggs? And I pose the question, maybe we should just stop eating the eggs. Right now, bird flu is going around. And while Trump promised all of you that he was going to lower egg prices on day one, and that clearly and obviously didn't happen, maybe we should also be asking ourselves, why are the eggs so expensive right now? And maybe the aspects of the fact that we have closed down so many, do you still call them poultry farms if they're not being killed? So many farms that are producing these eggs because, yeah, maybe the supply chain shortage issue stemming from an incredibly easily transmissible virus, maybe we shouldn't be consuming eggs in the same way, because I keep seeing people being like, I go through 2 dozen eggs a week. I can't keep up with this.
2 dozen?
I think maybe you shouldn't keep up with it.
Hold on. Are they a professional baker?
No.
Are they a gym person? A gym rat?
I don't know. It was on Reddit, but people were like... Do
they have a family of 24 and each person is getting 1 egg?
I think if you are eating eggs every day and if you are eating, because a lot of people have a 3-egg omelet and then we'll have a hard-boiled egg as a snack in a day. That's 4 eggs a day. I don't think we have a price of eggs problem. I think you might have an egg problem. I think we might need to cut back on the egg. And I'm also just marveling at how people can eat eggs like that, because for me, I can have an egg every year and a half, and then I go, that's disgusting. I can't have that again.
Eggs are exponentially disgusting. Everybody talks about how, let me eat this egg before I realize it's an egg, or I'm just eating this to eat it. And I agree. Because I do eat a lot of eggs. I'm not preparing them. I have a meal delivery service, and the breakfasts they have a lot of eggs in them. And I'm eating them because I'm not cooking it, and I'm just shoving it in my mouth. Eggs are disgusting. And for some reason, they've become a breakfast staple, and there are other forms of protein out there.
I would love to encourage people to look into those other forms of protein, because I hate to break it to you, the price of eggs is actually not the greatest issue here. It is the bird flu, and that is the reason why the egg prices are so extreme. Mm-hmm. And so to view that as like he's gonna get the prices have got to be down, the prices got to get down, or like, well, the only reason why he can't get the prices down is because they had to shut down all these farms. And I go, finish the sentence. Why were the farms shut down? The bird flu.
They're also shut down because he's pulled funding.
No, but even before that, the reason why the prices of eggs went up before he was in office, like that's the reason why he has no control over making them lower, because this was already set. So I think that we can complain about the price of eggs all day long, and I will. And I'm not telling anyone to stop making the jokes of being like, oh, egg prices are gonna be whatever. I do think a gas price one tends to be funnier, but I think I'm fine with making the jokes about the eggs. But I need us to do one step further digging after the joke, and I need us to implore other options for protein, because yes, eggs have a lot of protein, but it's not like such a crazy huge amount that you're only eating one. You're usually needing to stack a good amount, and the risk, just too much. I need a little less. And if you are still skeptical about it, it's time for you to do a rewatch of one of my favorite movies, Contagion. No. Yeah. Or have your own little home farm. My neighbors have chickens. That's lovely. They have the cutest little eggs too. They're so little, adorable, wonderful. And I'm not anti-egg, but I am anti going into debt over eggs. Something that is expensive because it's risky. You know, the same, or coveted after in that way. You know, it's not like it's hard to get because they're trying to stop it because it might not be the safest thing ever. So like, just like the same way right now, I don't think is a good time to pick up a cocaine habit. I don't think it's a good time to pick up an egg habit.
Is there ever a good time to pick up a cocaine habit?
Well, it's certainly, there's a bad time, and it's when fentanyl's there. That's the bad time. Yeah. I don't think there's ever necessarily a good time, but there are worse times, and it's the worst time.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Because the same thing with eggs, your cholesterol will spike regardless. But right now, we're facing something a little more acutely dangerous. Mm-hmm. And that's not just your bank account.
You're not wrong.
Thank you.
Mine is mid.
Say less. I'm with you. Moving on.
They get on my fucking nerves.
I hate all of them. Even the ones I love, I hate them sometimes.
I told y'all about how when I went to that coffee shop, that man was just like, oh, you got a big purse. I'm like, okay. I went to the movies last Friday, and this man was like, I had already walked past him, and he goes, "Hey," I should have kept walking, but I thought maybe I dropped something. And he goes, "I like your skin." And I said,
He wants to wear it? Ew.
"Okay." I literally go, "Okay." And he goes, "Yeah, it's nice." And I said, "Okay." He had nothing else to say. So then I kept walking. And then this has nothing to do with me personally, but no one needed to hear this. Chad Johnson, aka Chad Ochocinco, was on Stephen A. Smith as in General Hospital star slash
Thanks for clarifying.
slash sports commentary person who gets on my nerves, who I will be returning to in But Are They Wrong? He was on his show, and he was saying that Chad was saying that he was having sex with a woman, and she goes, "Put it in deeper." And he was like, he had bottomed out. And so then he made the decision to have penile surgery. And they're saying it went from 3 inches to 11 inches. That's too much dick. No one is going from 3 to 11 inches without it breaking off.
That's medical malpractice. They should get their life. Like, no good doctor would be like, yeah, I'm going to get. Also, by the way, if it's only men doing these surgeries, I have another issue with that as well. If you are someone who's having sex with women and a man is doing the surgery, I don't trust men to know if that's a good size or not.
Yeah.
There's options. Suspensory ligament release can typically add 1 to 2 inches. Penile implant can add 1 to 3. Fat grafting can add less than 1 inch.
So there's no way he went from 3 to 11 inches.
Well, because you can't, like, not to be gross, but like the thing that is like the most important for those any kind of like surgery or implant or whatever is like blood flow. And for that, like, you're not going to be you can't push
it out.
that much blood. Like, that's just like, your dick's going to it's going to like die. Like, you, sometimes they won't even like add in, like, if you have like a finger that's like cut off, if they've like anything with arteries or whatever, that they're not going to reattach a finger because therefore you're not going to get enough blood flow to it. And like your penis, that is blood flow that's not just keeping it alive, it like then makes it erect. So like,
yeah. So
he's got a bike pump attached to it constantly, I would assume.
Or maybe he's got a little strap on, and that's fine. But stop lying. I do believe more of the 3 inches. If he started at 3 inches, maybe they added on 2 inches, and now it's 5 inches long. But
a totally fine penis length, and I respect him coming out and saying it's 3 inches. That good. I believe you now.
Yes,
good on that. Let's not lie. Let's cut the other line.
Didn't go to 11 inches. There's no way.
Did not. That
just
is.
Think of science.
That's like,
think of when you were little and you were playing with Play-Doh and you had a smaller mound and then you put more on. It just fell over.
That would be criminal. That doctor would be jailed.
You had gender affirming surgery, which, let's call it what it is. Why are we telling the story?
He wants you to know how big it is, Melissa.
I don't want to know. There's nothing. I did think he used to be handsome before he started talking all the time.
That's what always happens.
And he started talking and I was just like, shut up. I never want to hear you talk again. And I don't know why this came across my feed.
You're not wrong. I have to say, any man who has to tell you how big his dick is unprompted does not have a big dick. I also don't think the current penis is 11 inches. I do think there's a cap, kind of like that like shin surgery to make you taller. I think they can only do 2 inches, but I might be wrong. But as somebody who has had sex with someone,
that's what medical advancements have happened in the world.
As someone who has had sex with someone who had a freak of a dick, it was a burden on his life. And I'm not kidding.
He did a smart water bottle.
Yeah, it was the size of a smart water bottle. Like, it was huge. And I was one of 2 people he had ever had sex. Like, he was not able to sleep around. Like, it was a lot. And when he told me, he like warned me beforehand and was like, we can just like fool around. Like, if, you know, if it's too much, like, it's okay. Like, you know, I know I've gotten it before. Like, and I was like, okay, like, you're so big. And then I was like, holy shit, pass the bong and the handle. I need to get a little more ready for this. So like, I know how men with huge dicks like that behave. This man did not walk around talking about how having that a massive dick. Like, it's not a thing. So I think this man probably went from a 2.5 to 5. And I think he thinks it looks really big. And I bet he has a tiny little iPhone. So people get confused. And I bet he lives in a tiny little house. So people think like, oh, everything's so big.
If you're going to be an advocate, tell the truth. That's like all for people being very bold about what's going on in their lives, being very outspoken, like approaching life, but like, you're lying. You're lying.
Then don't talk about it. Like, yes, if you can't talk, like, I think it's the same thing as like saying that you went to Turkey to get a hair transplant for preventative measures because you had a full head of hair. And it's like,
that's not how it works.
No, that's like not also how science works. And this is then misleading to people who think that then they need to have that level to get it done.
Yep. I have a friend and he got it done and he was very, like very open about it. And I respect all men. I don't respect all men. This was a gay man, so it's he gets
I respect a lot more gay men than straight men.
But I have 1 ounce of more respect for like men that go to that lady that does the toupees, and they don't hide their face. They're being truthful about what's happening.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the real solution to the male loneliness epidemic. If you were slanging around the greatest cock of all time and you had such a great person and you were like, Riz, off the chain, just so like charismatic and wonderful and lovely, you would not need to announce the size of your penis because you would already be fending off women. You'd be like, oh my God, I have so many people want to have sex with me all the time. All this is telling me is that you got this surgery and you thought this was going to change how you felt about yourself and it didn't. And so now you're like, but okay, maybe I should have just sent out a Substack, I need to do a push notification to let people know I'm working with some new equipment and maybe then they'll like me. You got to like you, dude. Come on. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into, but are you wrong?
We are so excited to have a brand new sponsor, and I'm feeling very cool because Jesse and Lily are sponsored by OneSkin, and now we are.
Yay!
We are finally here. Skincare, we love skincare. We're all about it. And let's talk about peptides for a minute. If you're like me, you're seeing them everywhere. Peptide this, peptide that, peptide. It's almost a tongue twister. Just because something says peptide on it doesn't actually mean that it's really doing anything for you, but that is where OneSkin's OS1 peptide is different. Some peptides just sit on top of the skin, and OS1 goes deeper. It's scientifically formulated to penetrate the cells within skin's deeper layers, which improves key skin health markers like collagen production, hydration, and my personal uphill battle constantly, skin barrier function.
I think that's both of our uphill battles.
Truly.
I was so excited to get this as well because I just ran out of my other moisturizer, so it was perfect timing. Not only is OS1 proven to remain stable from the lab to the countertop, so you get reliable results every time. And guys, listen, if you're not getting results from your peptides, it might be time to take a closer look. All of OneSkin's topical supplements are backed by lab and clinical studies. And they're all powered by OS1 peptide, the first and only peptide that is scientifically proven to target senescent cells that contribute to lines, wrinkles, and thinning skin. Try OneSkin with an exclusive 15% off your first purchase using Blame Me at oneskin.co.
I love these products. I've been trying out the Essential Moisturizer and the Essential Eye Cream. And for me, eye cream is one of those things that like, I love a little luxury eye cream. I love to like feel that, but specifically the older that I get, and also sometimes if my sleep is not that great, I really notice the lines under the eyes. And I always want my makeup to apply better. And what I love about this is it looks so nice if I put it on, no makeup on, but I also can apply makeup on it. It's not just for like that really rich overnight kind of a thing. It's really a daily thing that you can use. And it just looks and feels really good. And the moisturizer.
Oh, can I talk about that? Because sometimes my skin is very dry and scaly. Sometimes my skin is very oily. Sometimes my skin, I'm like, what even is this? But this face moisturizer is perfect. It goes on very smooth. It's not too thick, but you can feel the moisture in it. And then afterwards, after it's like really soaked in, you can just feel just how supple your skin is.
That's the perfect word, supple. And just like us, OneSkin loves science. So glad to hear. We love science in this house.
We do love science.
And OneSkin's entire R&D process is run in-house, strictly adhering to the rigor of scientific process from start to finish. Every claim is based on lab or clinical studies, and it's documented.
Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin and longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self.
Get 15% off with code BLAMEME at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BLAMEME. After your purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you.
When life gets hectic, one of the first things that goes out the window for me is making sure I'm eating nutritious meals and not just getting takeout when I realize I don't have the energy to cook that day. And that's why I love that I can optimize my nutrition this year with Factor. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, so it's perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. And they have 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, so you can pick meals tailored to your goals and choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. I love knowing that I have Factor meals in the fridge because it means I have a variety of dinner options without any of the hassle of deciding what to make or cleaning up, and they truly are so delicious. I've never been disappointed by a meal from Factor. With Factor, you can reach your goals with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat. So eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
We're back from our break, and it's time for our next segment, which is But Are You Wrong? Where you, callers, write in with a circumstance that you are in that you would like to know if you are in the wrong about. So it could be, was I wrong for doing this? Would I be wrong if I did this? We take both like past, present, and future decision making. Like you can pick any of those tenses. So submit it to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. Please keep it under 300 words. And we want you to say how old you are. Don't tell us your name. It's anonymous. Don't tell us other people's names. Come up with fake names. And if you come up with fake names we don't like, we'll change it. And give us as many details as possible. And we'll do our best.
All right. Let's get into it.
First up, am I, 26, wrong for telling my in-laws to not comment on my toddler's body? Also, I don't think I am at all, but I want you guys to validate me. I don't know. So my in-laws visited and my father-in-law looked at my toddler and said she was thinning out nicely and looking good. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I asked him not to make these comments because I've had my fair share of body image issues and I won't have men in her family, especially just sit in front of her making comments like this. I said this is a boundary I wasn't willing to discuss further and it must be respected. I am positive regarding body talk with my daughters. My in-laws were livid. They then said they've always suspected I had a shitty childhood and that if I wanted to talk about shitty childhoods to talk to stepmother-in-law because she had one too and hers actually made her a stronger person. They also said they have feelings that they have feelings and that I shouldn't have hurt them. Literally, what the fuck? I told them when it comes to my kids, I'm going to hurt their feelings if I have to, and they need to respect my boundary and handle their feelings on their own because they're adults, LMAO. I hate them so much. This response was gaslighting the fuck out of me. They are truly so toxic. My husband hates them too, and I wish he'd handle them because I'm close to popping off. My husband is white, so is his family. I am a black woman, and I feel like they just think these old dicks believe they don't have to fucking respect me. This behavior isn't surprising, and I wish my man would step up so I didn't have to. Am I overreacting? Am I wrong for wanting to go no contact? Because the gaslighting is real. This is an instance where I've been like, you would like to talk about, let's step outside. I would have gotten violent away from my child.
Yeah.
This is so many levels of fucked up to me. I think these comments are not only horrible in terms of just talking about anybody else's body. I think they're alarming in talking about a toddler's body. I would not trust them to be with her, let alone alone with her. But like, even if I'm there, like, no, she's no longer with us. She's definitely looking up at us. But I had a grandmother, one of them, the other one, so lovely, who was, oh my God, she just used to call me fat as like a little, like all the time as a little kid. She'd like smack my stomach. And like, I got tall in middle school. And if anyone is specifically women, like if you got tall in middle school or high school, like, you know, you put on weight in a very short amount of time. That like you're not like a skinny, lanky kid. Like you put on weight because your body's gearing up to like shoot up. And the part that like, and even if I wasn't that, but like for me, that aspect of it was like, that comes from that side of the family. So like she knew that. All of her kids were like she knew that. Everybody's like, the boys are well over 6 feet tall. Like all of them, like everybody's tall. She knows that. And so to insist on saying that, like I remember like, she said something about me wearing, like she didn't want me to wear a bikini. And I'm like 7, didn't want me to wear a bikini to her condo pool because I looked fat. And she kept saying, and then I had someone else who defended me saying, don't worry, you'll grow out of being chunky. And then insisted I wear it to kind of stick it to my grandma. And like,
which both of those are
exactly
wrong.
And so that, all I'm saying is that like that behavior, the only way that you can address that behavior is cutting it off. You cannot respond to that behavior or correct that behavior when there's a victim involved and your kid is there. Like, that's what this is not, there is no salvaging that because like, she cannot be the example of like, you're going to do better. This is a teaching moment because like it involves her. So it's not a teaching moment. And so that for me, you're not wrong at all for cutting them off. That I think is the only solution because if someone is going to be beyond the fact that like this is fucking perverted, but like deeply inappropriate body wise, that is a learning curve. They're not going to suddenly just know how to snap out of it. And it is not your daughter's responsibility to like be the guinea pig to get them to stop. And as someone who was that, didn't help. And also when you can tolerate even a little bit of that or tolerate it in a way to like communicate and send a message, very rarely is that actually what you're doing and more of it is like, it's still very centered around the body. It's still very centered around all of that. And if your husband hates them too, they got to get out. And like saying that a toddler's like looking, it's just, that's disgusting to me.
It is absolutely disgusting. I've had to deal with this from a family member saying the same things about other children in my family, about their body parts, and I have cussed them the fuck out, and they got mad, and guess what, they did it again, and I cussed them out again, and then other people started joining in as well. So I say that not just you, but your husband needs to be vigilant about not accepting this. And you're not overreacting. You're not wrong. You're not wrong for wanting to go no contact, because these people don't respect you, don't respect your child, don't respect their actual child too. So fuck them. I want to bitch slap them, like one open hand and then one in the back of my hand. And I hope that you're able to get away and things get better.
Yeah. And if they want to down the line prove how much they've changed, they can have a temporary trial relationship with you and your husband, not with the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that stuff sticks with kids, you know? And like, there were adults in my life who made comments about other family members. Well, they made comments about everybody's body, but like specifically as a kid, hearing how they would talk about other kids' bodies in a derogatory way, and that put a lot of morality on bodies, as well as putting blame on people's income status, their education, or their quote unquote lack of like basically saying like that the people who raised those kids were unintelligent and poor. So of course this is what their kid would, and then it's just like this sad and pitiful thing. And I saw how that affected that kid in a way that was, we were getting very similar comments from different people, like from one person saying this, but like we did not have that same grandma, but I could see how that affected them and their self-esteem, because like you said, like they essentially just like them was like, of course you had a bad childhood. So like when you tie that to like all these other things, it creates a complex. And when people say shit like that, I'm like, and you have something that people study in medical school for psychology. This is, if that's your immediate response, I go, ooh, okay, we've got some big things we're dealing up in our head. And that's not something that that's not a group project. You can do that on your own. I would, oh my God, I would curb stomp, like roundhouse kick. I would have gotten so fucking mad. And yeah, be done. And your daughter will thank you, by the way, like will 100%. And so by the time that like, if they eventually want to have a relationship, you can be like, hey, grandma and grandpa are kind of creepy and fat phobic. I want you to know that. Like, but I think if a kid is not young enough to understand what that means or to hear that, I don't think they shouldn't have a relationship.
All right, next one. Am I wrong for falling for a guy that my friend liked and I just happened to hit it off with? Marshall and I, 26 person.
Shut the fuck up. You picked the fake name Marshall? Babe. Oh, I know. This is going to be from that show.
Yeah, it's How I Met Your Mother.
Is Marshall... I'm sorry. I don't know who plays Marshall.
Marshall is
actually
a
doesn't really
big,
matter.
giant, tall man.
I don't know that anyone's hot in that show. Like, that's not my kind. There's a reason why I haven't watched that show. Those men also look all freakily hairless, which I don't like. Have you seen the show? Like, how should I feel about Marshall?
Marshall's just like the tall, doofy guy. But Marshall and Robin weren't in a relationship, so I'm very concerned about this as we continue reading. At least I don't think I've seen episodes on and off. I never have seen it all the way on, like sat through. It was a point where the show would just be on TV, but I don't know if these people go together.
Imagine if this was just like, this person has no idea and they just like love these names.
Yeah, because Marshall was with the girl from Buffy. So
the
I don't
girl
know
who got fucked with the flute.
Yeah. So I don't know why you're putting these two people in this conversation, but
Maybe
here
they
we
fucked
go.
in the show.
I don't think they did.
I don't know. I should ask Mott's. Mott's watched
I'm
the show, and I'll
pretty sure
never let him live it down.
Marshall and the other girl were together almost all of the show. Anyway, Marshall and I, 26, first met in New York for Robin's birthday. Robin is very insecure and has I guess you're in the story, you are who Marshall's with in the show, I think. Lily?
I recently just watched a clip of Jason Segel talking about recording a scene about his dad dying, and I think her name is, that's not what the actress's name is it?
No. Okay, so Marshall is Jason Segel's character. Okay, here we go again.
It is Lily.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're Lily then.
Okay.
Here we go. Marshall and I, 26, first met in New York for Robin's birthday, 25. Robin is very insecure and has not been with the guy before, but has crushes and doesn't act on them. I've been privy to 4 in the last year. I knew that Robin had a crush on Marshall, and I was in full support. Robin invited him in hopes of getting him to fall for her. He was excited to have a reason to go back to New York and see his BFF brother and go to her birthday. He thought that they were friends, didn't respond often / act in a way other than a friend. I also flew in. We didn't do anything that weekend, just got to know each other, and neither of us thought it would progress. I didn't tell Robin right away. I thought he and I were just friends. When we realized we'd fallen for each other, I needed to tell her. I stopped responding to our group chat anytime she talked about him / feeling the delulu of him liking her. There weren't any signs, and she wouldn't listen to that. Now she's mad at me, saying I shouldn't have pursued him. He pursued me. I'm mad, but I know her feelings are valid because it's a shitty thing. I don't know what else I could have done. If I told her and then hated Marshall right after, I had to tell her before we hung out these next 2 weekends. I felt so guilty. Don't think I'm going anymore. More than happy to send screenshots of the post FaceTime combo, but I don't know what to do now. Am I wrong here? I think I got it all. I think telling your friend that you're dating somebody while you know that they actively have a crush on them is wrong. Whether you hit it off or not, especially since you said that she usually has like several crushes on guys and never acts on it, maybe wait until after that she moves on to the next crush. I know that you can't you can control your feelings, but like if this is somebody that you really hit it off with and you like you don't want to, dating is hard. You don't want to pass up that opportunity, but doing something when you know your friend likes somebody, I think that is wrong.
So I don't disagree with like that statement. Like I don't disagree with that on paper. I do, and I'm definitely being biased and taking my own judgment coloring this in. But like when you've had one of those friends who has a crush on like every guy who like
looks in her direction.
Yeah, but like, and specifically like has not shown interest, but like just exists and like views it as like, as my husband's most important thing ever. And like knowing that like there are so many of them and these guys are fundamentally like not interested. And like, there's just just crush after crush after crush after crush that like, I can see why you'd be like, you're not even gonna like, because it doesn't, you said that she never acts on it. So she's not ever able to find out if these guys are interested. So therefore she can always have claim on them because then it would be your responsibility to be like, hey, he's not interested. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's a fair position to put you in. And I also don't think like that's fair to him. Like, I don't think you should say that at all.
He doesn't even know that she has a crush on him.
Yeah. So I think that like this unfortunately kind of is like a lose-lose, like any way you slice it, because she's setting it up to like stake claim on everyone. Yeah, she's calling dibs essentially that infinitely. And these are my like least favorite kind of like delusional people. Cause like, I think it's fine if you have a lot of crushes. Like lots of friends have like a lot of crushes, but like the best kinds of friends in this instance are the friends who are either like, I just saw my husband, Libras. I just saw my husband walking down the street. And then a week later, you're like, oh, wait, so do you guys talk? And you're like, I have no idea who you're talking about. Like that, it's like where it's like fast, quick, burn, love it, hate it, don't know about them anymore, can't remember their name. That's fine. I love that. That's fun. And then the other ones are someone who has a lot of crushes, but the same way that they can build a crush, they can throw it away just as quickly. And they love crushes for everybody. So they want to share their crushes and being like, oh my God, no, you'd be even better. Like, and they can shut it off so quick. I've had friends like that. Like, I had my first kiss with a guy like that my friend like was like, she really liked him. And she was like, you can like, we were at a mutual friend's house and was like, you can like any of these boys because she went to a different high school except for this one. That's when I have a crush on. And I was like, okay. And we get there and like, I was like, this guy's really cute. And it was the only time in my life besides Logan Huntsberger that I liked a blonde man. And I was like, this is crazy. He's very cute. And I remember like we were talking for a long period of time and then I hadn't had a chance to talk to my friend and I was like, I've been talking to this guy a lot. And like, that's not good because she really likes him. The second we got off the trampoline, because of course it's high school, we're hanging out on a trampoline. I like went to the bathroom and like grabbed her along with me. And before I could even get the words out, she goes, I'm over him. I love him for you. He's perfect. Like that's the level of kinds of crushes. But I've also had the friends who are exactly like this. And it is debilitating and exhausting because they also have they will not admit they're insecure and they have like a deep false sense of overconfidence. But because they don't actually ever pursue anyone, they never have to get brought back down to reality. So I think Melissa's right. Like you're not wrong. I mean, you're wrong I think in practice, like the whole theory of this, like I think that it's like the wrong move, but I don't know what the right move is with this person. Because I think the only way that she would be happy is if he pursued you and you shut him down. That's, I think, like the only way that she'd be happy. So it's kind of like you weigh those options. Mm-hmm. But I think fundamentally, the best way to do it is to have gotten ahead of it and not waited until like, oh, let's see if it works or see if what.
So don't go.
Wait, so this is before the birth? I'm confused about where we're going at this point. I thought they met at the party.
I think they're just going to visit.
Oh, okay. You don't go. This, I think, is the end of the friendship, and that needs to be okay.
Sorry.
I couldn't deal with this at 25. Like, the most I put up with these friends was, like, late 20s at the earliest, and that was, like, someone I wasn't even actually... That wasn't even someone I was friends with. That was, like, friend of a friend, and I was like, I can't be in a room with her anymore because she drives me so fucking crazy for this exact reason.
Yep. I have been... And I say, like, you were wrong, but I've also been the person that has done that. I've been you.
I've done it too. Yeah.
So
sometimes there's like, when at a certain point you realize, like, if I don't, this is going to be never ending. Even if this person like finds some whatever, like it will be truly never ending. So either I have to die, I'm never going to get any, or I'm going to have to step on some toes because she's got Ursula tentacles around every man in the entire borough. Like, that's crazy.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into But Are They Wrong?
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places. Between payroll, your tax consultant, and the IRS. If your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
I think you're on mute.
Workday's starting to sound the same.
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
And we're back. time for But Are They Wrong? That's when we pick somebody in the world, in pop culture, in the zeitgeist that has done something stupid, and we point at them and laugh.
Boo.
Who you got, Megan?
I would like to nominate LG.
Like the phone company?
Yeah, but you know what they also
Life's
make?
Good. They make a lot of things. They make refrigerators, washing machines.
You know what? I have to say, as of right now, I have not seen anything good that Samsung and LG have made that didn't start as phones. So I think they should stick with the phones, but they also make ovens.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this headline tells it all. LG is sending free stickers to 500,000 customers who bought its recalled stove that caused 28 house fires. Uh-huh.
What are these stickers supposed to do?
Get ready. So it caused 28 house fires, several injuries, and also multiple pets died in this. They aren't receiving refunds or exchanges. They're receiving stickers. So the Consumer Product Safety Commission said in an alert that it received 86 reports of unintentional activation because of the front-mounted knobs from humans and pets that can pose as a fire hazard on the LG slide-in ranges and freestanding ranges. And customers who responded on LG's website, so take in mind, this is that kind of recall. This is not you're getting one of those calls and someone's showing up at your house, which they do for certain things. This should be one of them because it does not just affect you. It also affects your neighbors. It affects everyone. Like that's the kind of, they need to be tracking your phone number down over and over and over and over and over again. Someone needs to hire people who used to work at Planned Parenthood to give you calls about your results and things of being like, we need to talk to you. That, or the bots of being like, we'd like to talk about your house insurance. So once we filled all of that out, I would have assumed I was getting a refund or they were exchanging for a new part, or my car right now has an item on recall that I'm going to bring it into the shop
too.
and they'll fix it. There we go. But no, instead it is a sticker that is the most condescending thing I've ever heard. It has instructions on it with a little reminder that says, make sure to push the lock button. So that will hopefully prevent this from unintentionally going off. So for anyone who might be affected by this, just an FYI, they were sold at Best Buy, Costco, and Home Depot between 2015 and 2025.
So yesterday.
Also, 10 years, and you're just figuring, like, just now. And the recall covers about 24 specific models. And they also say, regardless of the sticker, that consumers should be keeping their children and pets away from the knobs and always check the knobs to ensure they're off before leaving your home. And to that I say, can you imagine if someone with OCD got this and like the meticulous anyone would check, but like when you have like you're compulsive to checking that's fucking unacceptable. That a sticker is the solution. Unacceptable. So several incidents involving the ranges caused extensive property damage totaling in more than $340,000 and 3 fires that resulted in pet deaths. And they said in a comment that it's reminding customers about our unique safety function called a lockout or control lock, available on LG electric ranges with front-mounted knobs since 2015. We are proud of the patent in LG invention specifically designed to enhance the safety of LG ranges. And I have to say, is it a wonderful advancement if you need a sticker to remind it doesn't automatically engage? And then also, not every stove needs this. Terrifying.
Nope. Yeah, that's scary. I haven't heard one thing about it. I've been on top of recalls.
Oh, you're always on top of recalls.
Yeah. So I will add that to my list of things to
Do you have an
remind people. I don't.
Oh, thank God. But like, I have to take pictures of like my curling iron unplugged when I leave the house to like make sure that I did. And like,
that's why I have a lot of things on Alexa switches, because I can literally check and see if it's off.
Yeah, and I check all of the windows and doors before I go to bed, and like I go back and check the oven, like the stove and the oven, to make sure it's not on all the time, even on days where I did
leave it on one time and it freaked the fuck out of me.
I have left the front door open. I have left my keys in the door. I've left my car door open, not even just unlocked. Like I've left the stove, I've left the like flame on the burner. I have left the gas on the burner, not realizing I have left the oven on overnight. Like I've done all of that stuff. And like, this to me is like someone with ADHD is like worst fucking nightmare because like I am a hazard. You can't sell me a hazard and then tell me that I am the quality control and I have to like that's not gonna fucking happen. Like that's just no. I need the products to work so well that the error needs to be on me using it poorly because that's already gonna happen. But it cannot be like I have to make up for faulty manufacturing. Yep. So I feel so bad for people who have gotten this.
Awful.
Imagine a world-class graduate education that's accessible, flexible, and designed for career impact. That's Harvard Extension School. Build actionable knowledge and skills in challenging online classes taught by Harvard faculty and industry experts. Explore new opportunities and expand your network with high-achieving professionals from around the world. Part-time learning. Real-world impact. This is Harvard on your terms. Learn more at extension.harvard.edu/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. Like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
All right. Mine is Stephen A. Smith, as I mentioned earlier, General Hospital star / sports commentator / podcaster. He came out and said that if he were married to Serena, he would get a divorce because she's clearly not over her ex. And then when faced with, in case you don't know and you're living under a rock or you're not from here and you didn't watch the Super Bowl, but Kendrick Lamar performed at the Super Bowl and he had Serena there and she was sea walking and everybody went crazy. And so Serena was dating Drake at one point. And so Stephen A. Smith said this. And also, I do want to point out that this song is specifically about Drake being a loser and a pedophile. And so Stephen A. Smith is always popping off out at the mouth about some dumb shit, and including this doubling down. First of all, this shows that how insecure you are. And second, Serena herself said that it had nothing to do with Drake. She didn't say his name, but on her own Instagram, she said, or her own TikTok, she said, when Kendrick and team called and was like, we've been trying to do something forever. What about this? We love your crip walk at the Olympics after you won the gold medal. I'm like, Super Bowl? Are you serious? When in the world would I ever be able to dance at the Super Bowl? Never. Let's do it. I knew my winning dance after the Olympics would pay off one day. End of story. She didn't mention that name. In the song also, Kendrick does say, better not speak on Serena. They're both from Compton. And then Serena's actual husband, you know, the one that she's actually married to, not some hypothetical thing that Stephen A. Smith came up with. He said, some of y'all have no idea how criticized Serena was for this same dance at Wimbledon 13 years ago, and it shows. This is bigger than the music. So Serena was very much criticized. Basically, people were like, she was behaving too ghetto at the Olympics after winning. So
I just think this is deeply rich coming from a man with I don't even know if you can call that a hairline anymore, who is unmarried, has never been married, and has 2 children. It's just
nobody even wants to marry you.
no.
So how are you going to get a divorce from somebody that nobody wants to even marry?
I hate to break it to you, but not being married, I mean, getting divorced, you have to get married to be divorced, and you had an engagement that got broken off.
And just like Kendrick said, better not speak on Serena. So I feel like you might be his next target.
Man who wears many hats, mostly because he doesn't have any hair, and also because I'm sure he's trying to make enough money. Do you know how much money Serena has? Do you know how much money her husband has?
And her husband is constantly defending her. And even if this was about Drake always has her fucking name in his mouth. In his song, "And Nothing's Into Something," Drake touches on the feelings of an ex moving on without any final resolution. And he was mad when Serena and Alexis got married in 2017. Then you diss her and her husband, saying, "Sidebar, Serena, your husband is a groupie. He claimed we don't got a problem, but no, boo, it's like you coming for sushi." So stupid. But also, I want my husband to be my groupie.
To clown on a guy of being like, you like your girl too much.
Your wife that you have children with.
Oh,
you're a loser.
This is a man who's going to talk about how he got his heart broken at 13 and he's never been able to heal from that. And I'm like, okay, so you hate your mom. You have so many issues with women that at this point it's like, fellas, is it gay to kiss your wife? Like, we're getting to that level of it. And it's crazy. And I did look up that Steven cited when his sister asked him, like, whatever happened with that engagement. And he, like, snapped at her, like, whatever, and, like, got mad at her and, like, mentioned something about money. All I'm hearing is bitter and broke. That is all I'm hearing. And specifically to go after, there's not a bone in Serena's body that we have ever seen as, like, civilians, especially on that stage, that gave anything other than joy, that radiated anything other than, like, passion and joy. And, like, she was having fun.
She was having a blast. She got a dance instructor to help her craft it. Like, she was having fun. But to finish off what I was just saying about that song, and then Alexis responded, "The reason I stay winning is because I'm relentless about being the absolute best at whatever I do, including being the best groupie for my wife and daughter." And then in 2024, he reveals that Too Good was about Serena. And a lot of people had thought it was about Rihanna, which is weird because they were dating too. He reveals to his mom that it's about Serena, and she responded, "I gathered that," which means that he's just simping about Serena at home to his mommy.
If anyone needs to pull their ass out of 2014, it's Aubrey. Like, he is, like, living so deeply in, like, 2014, 2016. Serena's got all of her new ventures. She's having fun. She's doing all of this stuff. And BBL Drizzy, the only improvements, actually not improvements, because that's subjective and I think it's actually not true. The only changes he's made the only future steps he's taken have been body modifications. Like, that's it. I just saw that, like, he's refusing, like, Steve is, like, facing the backlash and he's, like, refusing to.
Yeah, that's
he's like,
what
I
I'm
didn't say anything
saying.
bad.
He
I'm like,
doubled down on it.
It's giving Pearl, that TikTok girl who, like, just talks about, like, men aren't going to marry you. And I'm like, no one's marrying you because you're repulsive. You're horrible. Like, to be the authority on something that you have quite literally never experienced is, so just quintessential man.
Yep. Well, that's it.
Woohoo! We hope y'all enjoyed. As always, please vote for who you think was wrong in each of these segments on today's episode. The highlight and the stories will be up on our Instagram. Make sure you follow so you don't miss that. And if you miss, like, the window to vote, you can still, like, respond to all those stories, click in the highlight, and, like, let us know what you think and, like, how you would have voted. And you can always tag us in things you want us to talk about, whether that is nominations for Wrong of the Week or things that are, like, rants, hot takes, stuff you're seeing. Tag us on TikTok or DM us on I would say our individual accounts. We can also DM the joint account. Do not DM the TikTok. I will not see that.
I keep forgetting we even have one.
Me too. Best way to do it is our own personals, I would say. And follow us. Follow our personals. Follow our joint accounts everywhere. Get our merch. Join the Patreon. You can watch the video versions there. You can also watch ad-free there. Join the Patreon. Like I said, you can watch ad-free there, or you can watch the video version, see how we're our facial responses, reactions, all of that. And you can also join there for our live streams that we do twice a month. Very fun. Just support the show however you want. That's it.
All right. We will circle back. Goodbye.
Bye.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melisa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural Then and Now.
From the podcast that brought you to each of the last lesbian bars in the country and back in time through the sapphic history that shaped them, comes a brand new season of cruising beyond the bars. This is your host, Sarah Gabrielli, and I've spent the past year interviewing history-making lesbians and queer folks about all kinds of queer spaces, from bookstores to farms to line dancing and much more.
For 11 years, every night women slept illegally on the common.
We would move down to the West Indies to form a lesbian nation. Meg Kristen coined the phrase women's music, but she would have liked to say it was lesbian music.
And that's kind of the origins of the Comedy River Collective.
You can listen to Cruising on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes air every other Tuesday starting February 4th.